This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Next, at 5, the latest on an attempted arson at the home of Vancouver's mayor. Someone set a fire outside her garage while she was at a city council meeting. Everything we know coming up. Plus,
I kind of felt like there's a special place in hell for people like that.
Yeah, jewelry thieves recently targeting a nursing home with a slick tactic we just told you about yesterday. 2 victims will explain how these thieves are taking jewelry right off their bodies.
Also this morning, we're hearing from the new president at Oregon State University.
And I'd like to focus on getting our graduation rates up and ensuring that our students have a wonderful experience at OSU.
She's the first woman of color to lead the Beavs. We'll hear about one of her biggest concerns as she takes over in Corvallis coming up at 5:15.
Yeah, and the Beavs 2-0 for the first time in a long time. The football team as well as the new president. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. You've got some good weather news for us.
Yeah, I feel like I was actually working fairly hard the last week or so. I feel like today I haven't done much. Here's a look
bravo.
Yeah, bravo, right? Here's the day planner. Now, speaking specifically of the west side of the Cascades, the coast, the Willamette Valley, southwest Washington, air quality is back to being mainly good. We're starting off with morning cloud cover. We have light winds, 65 under those clouds right now. We become partly cloudy. We stay comfortable, 67 at noon, 75 for high. There are still smoke concerns and air quality concerns over parts of central and eastern Oregon. We'll talk more about that coming up.
See you then. Thank you, Rod. Let's get to our top story this morning. Police and fire investigators say someone tried to set a fire at the home of Vancouver Mayor Anne McInerney Ogle. This happened just after 9:30 last night in the Shumway neighborhood. The mayor was attending a city council meeting at the time, but her husband confronted the suspect near the garage before that person got away. Police say the mayor's husband was able to put out the fire himself. Officers set up a perimeter. They brought in a canine to find the suspect, but they didn't locate anybody. Arson investigators and the city fire marshal are investigating this case. We did reach out to the mayor's office, but we haven't heard back yet.
Also in Vancouver, police are investigating a string of jewelry thefts that may be connected to some recent cases in Washington County. The victims all have similar stories where the suspects took their jewelry while they were wearing it.
Yeah, in this most recent case, police say they snuck into a retirement community. And Catherine Cook talked to one of the victims' daughters about how it all happened.
I kind of felt like there's a special place in hell for people like that.
Nicole Williams wants everyone to know what happened to her mom, Stephanie. The 76-year-old lives in the Van Mall retirement community in Vancouver. Nicole says on September 6th, her mom and some friends were out on the porch when a strange man approached them.
He said his mom was going to be joining him. It was her birthday, which is strange. But and then my mom and her friends went back into her retirement village.
They didn't know it then, but it was the setup that led to the theft of Stephanie's 3-carat diamond ring. A few minutes later, Nicole says the man and a woman walked into the retirement home, pretended to sign in.
They were very brazen.
And eventually found her mom, who was in a group Bible study.
The woman told her, "It's my birthday. I have something for you," really random, but started putting jewelry on her hand. As she was putting rings on my mom's fingers, and then as she took the rings off, she took my mom's diamond ring off. And once my mom realized it was gone, this couple was up and running for the door. So my mom said, "Stop them."
By then, it was too late. Oddly enough, they left behind a small sock full of fake jewelry.
They knew what they were doing. Yeah, they'd done it before.
Vancouver police tell us another victim recently reported the same thing happened to them in a shopping center parking lot. And in Washington County, sheriff's deputies there tell us they took 3 separate reports from jewelry theft victims describing the same MO. One of them is Thomas Xavier. He says around noon on Thursday, the 2 suspects pulled up outside his home in Beaverton and called him over. He says a man was driving and the woman in the passenger seat told him it was her birthday. She asked to give him a necklace, but when she put it on him, she stole Xavier's own gold necklace right off his neck.
I'm a bit confused what's happening, Why did you accept all this? I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why did I do that? So I took out the necklace in front of her, and that's when I felt, oh, my necklace is gone.
Yeah, it really upset me.
Despite her loss, Nicole is thankful her mom is okay, and she wants as many people as possible to know what's going on.
Just keep their eyes out, protect themselves, their families, or each other around them, for sure.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
No school again today or until further notice in Ridgefield. Teachers there are still on strike after no deal was reached yesterday. Another bargaining session is planned for 9:30 this morning. The teachers union hit the picket lines first on Friday. Teachers saying they want more salary money, they want more funding for mental health and special ed students. So we'll bring you any updates from that meeting this morning on air and online.
Here's a look at some other local headlines this morning, starting with new information about the series of recent fires around Mount Tabor in southeast Portland. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, or pardon me, the DA's office in Multnomah County, says 2 18-year-olds are charged with first-degree arson. Prosecutors say the suspects admitted to starting the fires and were caught on surveillance video near Mount Tabor around the time that one of the fires started. Investigators also arrested a third 18-year-old suspect last weekend, but his case was closed yesterday without arraignment. The DA's office has not yet explained why. Meanwhile, the NTSB located the wreckage of the float plane that crashed near Whidbey Island, north of Seattle, earlier this month. The plane is roughly 200 feet underwater, but there is a plan in place now to recover it. Federal investigators teamed up with NOAA and the University of Washington to capture images using sonar and other 3D instruments. There's no word yet on when the recovery of the plane will happen. And one more headline here from the Pearl District. Peabody has closed part of Northwest Everett between 11th and 12th because of a sinkhole. You can see it in some of the shots here. It's not huge, but it's enough to do some damage to your car if you were to ride over it. So they've closed down that stretch in the Pearl District. This all happened around 8:30 last night. Peabody says the crews will be back out there later today to investigate and determine just how long that closure might last. And that's a look at some of our morning headlines.
Okay, you guys, we're going to take you out this morning to the Columbia Edgewater Country Club in Northeast Portland, the site of this year's Portland Classic. It is the longest running non-major tournament on the LPGA Tour, now in its 51st year. So what you're looking at here is the tournament's Hall of Fame, starting way back in 1972. Over the next 2 days, golfers will be out there practicing or playing to qualify. And then on Thursday, they will tee off in round 1, playing 72 holes by the time the tournament wraps up on Sunday. The purse, not bad, $1.5 million. Tickets are available online if you go to portlandclassic.com. Rod Hill, do you recognize some of those faces there?
Well,
Is that Nancy Lopez?
Yeah, I saw Nancy Lopez a moment ago, and of course so many great champions. We were out there last Friday, and it was right about 11 o'clock, which was the timing of the red flag warning for the east winds to start. And right then, the east wind started to blow. The golf course is out along Marine Drive on the Columbia River. They had put those signs up. Well, of course, they all went over.
No!
And I said, you might not want to repair those or put them back up until after the weekend. Now they've got them back up.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
And you always like to talk about how long this event has been running in Portland.
Which we mentioned in that story. So when we say the non-major, they have the big tournaments, which aren't always on the same golf course. And then outside of those titled tournaments, this is the longest one on tour. So it's a very historic tournament. We have it here.
Yeah, it's exciting to welcome them.
Play starts on Thursday. Here's a look. And let me tell you, those women can hit that golf ball.
Heck,
I mean, if you've never been or watched professional women's golf, you're really missing something. I enjoy watching it every bit as much as I enjoy watching the men. They are great, great athletes out there. All right, here we go. In gray, this is all of the air quality advisory still posted. This pretty much blankets eastern Oregon, extends down into Bend, but not up through the Dalles. The air quality here on the west side is back to being good. And our smoke models do show that much of eastern Oregon will see some improvement this afternoon into tomorrow in terms of thinning the smoke. So that's good news. We're actually getting some rain out that direction. Here's some shower activity moving south to north across 84. There's a thunderstorm threat for you folks in eastern Oregon this afternoon. that continues. Futurecast does show the morning cloudiness we have here on the west side, and then a shower threat continuing out east. Now, we will break out of the clouds and become partly cloudy during the day up and down the I-5 corridor. We have dense fog right now at the coast. That's expected to at least improve during the day. There's some afternoon thunderstorms around Baker City showing up. Temperatures pretty comfortable. 53 in Baker City with some rain in the area. At 66 out in the Dow, 61 in Salem. We're being held up a little bit because of the cloud cover. We have light winds. Dense fog advisory at the coast, but I just checked, and most of the main reporting sites say visibility is not too bad. Of course, those are site-specific stations. So for today, how about this? Low 70s, partly cloudy skies after some morning cloud cover, light west winds up into southwest Washington. Might be slow to clear up in especially areas north of Vancouver. This shows Longview 71, Vancouver up to about 75. Portland hit 76 yesterday. We could go 75 today. It still looks like we will be no warmer than the 70s all week, something we have not done. We have not had 3 days in a row of only 70s or cooler since the first week of July. We're going to do it this week, it looks like. Rain chances are still looming for the weekend. There's a potential front on Saturday and a second one on Monday. It's right now the forecast models aren't putting out a lot of rain, so if you have outdoor plans this weekend, including going to the golf tournament, maybe you're okay, but keep an eye on that weekend forecast. Back to you.
All right, Rod, thank you. The Beavers have a new school president. Coming up, we spoke with the first woman of color to lead Oregon State.